Bruce's big call Dinar Intel Thursday night May 15, 25. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Transcribed by Wiser, now emailed to recaps. Welcome everybody to the big call tonight. It's Thursday, May 15th and you're listening to the big call. Thanks for tuning in all over the globe. We love the fact that the Starlink system we're using to piggyback on that to get out to listeners all over the planet. So thanks for tuning in, if that's the case for you, and you're getting this call in something other than English. And these are getting translated in 3 seconds after I'd say it. Glad that you're all there, thanks for tuning in. Let's pray the call in. So let's get into some intel. Alright, what's interesting? I told you guys Tuesday night that a lot of the sources that we have sort of dried up. A lot of people that we've talked to are no longer able to talk to us. They say we're too close to this. They're listening to everything we say, all that kind of talk, you know. And so we do the best we can to find out what the heck is really going on, you know. Because you know guys, you know it as well as I do. We thought Thursday, Friday, today, tomorrow, for sure, would be when we're supposed to be notified, because we had heard that right from pretty good sources, people that are in the redemption center. Alright, here's what happened today. They got emails at 9:15 this morning. But the emails were to give them their new username, passwords to get in, to log in to their accounts. They did. They've been doing a lot of shifting of personnel locations in the redemption centers. And I don't think it's just in 1 or 2 regions. It could have been nationwide that these changes were taking place. So this morning, the redemption center leaders were looking for new username, password to access to go online, alright, onto the proper site. So in the case of we did get stuck with one of our bank leaders and one of our redemption center leaders. Very briefly, we find that in the redemption centers today, the screens went dark. They went black, and it was probably because new rates are going to be coming up, and they didn't want to show those yet. Now in the banks, the rates are still up. I think this is a good thing when the screens go down at redemption center. It's telling you, wait, there's going to be changes coming to the rates. Usually, they're increased usually. And so that's a good thing. So when I hear rates are on at the banks, but they're not on at the redemption center screens, I think, oh, good. That shows that we're close again. Now that's the situation today so far with the redemption centers. There have been new currencies that have been added. I mentioned on Tuesday that there is only one basket. This global currency reset is a once for all deal. It's not going to have a second or a third or fourth basket. That's old stuff that is no longer the case. Even if it was true in the past, it's not true now, one basket, but they have added 4 or 5 new currencies in the last couple of days. And for example, I mentioned North Korea, South Korea, they both use, if I remember right, the North Korean 1WON, South Korean 1WON. Now I believe you'll have a new one for both North and South Korea when they announced some kind of not a repatriation, but where the two will be joined back as one country, sort of like what happened in Vietnam. So we're going to have North and South Korea as one country, and maybe initially it'll be two different currencies. I don't know, but I know they're both on and the plan is for both of them to be on the redemption center screens. You have Syria. President Trump dropped the sanctions against Syria 2 days ago. He met with the head of that country, and this is a chance for Syria to do the right thing. President Trump is giving him that, and also, as a result, the Syrian currency will be revalued. I don't have any idea what. I think it's worth about 15 cents on the dollar. Now, I think that's what I've heard on Newsmax. So we'll see how that comes to be, what it ends up becoming. But obviously, President Trump has told these guys about economic renewal and about everything that can be happening in their country if they just decide not to be agents of terrorism, but rather an agent of peace, and that's what we're going for. So President Trump finished up his let me continue with the currency. So we've got currency, which is called the pound, the Syrian pound, alright, not connected to the British pound, for example, the pound sterling. You know, initially it was right now. They have their own Syrian pound. Beyond that, we've got Myanmar, which is known as Burma, was on this coming up with China and their yuan, so I pronounce it anyway, and you've got Cambodia is in there. Nothing mentioned about Laos, but Cambodia is in. Let's see the 2 Koreas, China, Myanmar, Burma and Syria. I think those are all newest ones that have been added to the 17 or so that were already planned to be increasing in value. So I want to put that out there for you guys to realize that, and let's see what else. So what we're hearing on bondholders, and again they have been pushed, just like we have. This whole thing in unraveling about a 48-hour period, bondholders and as platform trades, everything to be released in over about a 48-hour period, the latest information we heard, and that's one reason I was a little bit late, is that everything is supposed to be released, and this would be our notifications and notifications to the bondholders that they have access to their funds in their accounts. All of that is supposed to happen over the weekend with our exchanges beginning early next week. So Saturday, Sunday, we should get our notifications either Saturday or Sunday, and if they came early enough Saturday morning, we could very well set an appointment and start on Saturday. If that would case, we could also go through and include Sunday and right on through the rest of the month. Now, there's no guarantee. Obviously, when we say the weekend, there's going to be Saturday, it could be on Sunday, and we're just looking at an appointment for Monday or Tuesday, very possible. You know, early next week, very early next week, Saturday, Sunday, whatever. But everything appears to have been done, now to where we can move forward. And I'll tell you, we had a total of 61,000 IRS agents that were let go in 30 hours. That's a very positive thing for us to move into NESARA with no income tax, no state income tax, but rather a consumption tax. We've talked about of either 14 or 15% that would be inboarded, if also new goods ready for, which means yes, a lot of things would go up 15% in price, but it'll settle itself out. And allow about half revenue to go federal gov and half go to the state. So we will see how they divide all that out, we'll see what happens. That's part of NESARA. We are going to find that we're going to get more information on NESARA probably between now and July 4th. Hopefully we get it all activated, all of it out, to see how that flows. But what we're looking for is we have, supposedly now about 60% of GESARA already activated, 60%, but on NESARA, only 15% so far has been put into play, 15%, so we got a lot more to do. We're still looking to receive checks this month, probably starting next week, and we're looking for an increase in Social Security for those 62 to 72. It's a really nice large sum of an increase, and then 72.5. I guess you would get even a larger increase. And I can't put those numbers out, always subject to change. But those things are good for the month of May. Now, our R&R, as I have told you before, for those of us exchanging, should be at the redemption center so that they will is how much we're getting back. They are not going to break it down to this and this and this, we'll have a lump sum that will tell us how much we're getting back, and you need to ask them about it. Restitution, reclamation allowance. What that's going to be, I am excited about that. I am more excited about numbers, and once that happens we get to set our appointments and go for exchanges. We are all waiting for it, you too. Sue is also. Me too. Everybody is anxious right now. I am a little bit on the little edge that was a little bit on edge today, and it's excitement. I can see the light at the end of this tunnel. Looking forward to going, just like you guys are certainly looking forward to the med beds, and certainly after that, to the rebuild projects, Rebuild America, Rebuild International, getting a little traveling, and getting started with our concept. I know you are too, so we'll see how that goes. Alright, so think we're looking at emails over the weekend to us, or whether it's beforehand, and we just do a recording with Sue, Bob and I to do a celebration call. It'll be up as soon as we finish it. Now, let's pray to call out. Okay, and then we'll have a great weekend. Hopefully we'll find those. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a great weekend. Listen to the full version on the official DinarReport.com website and become our supporter on Patreon. Source: Dinar Recaps.